Okay, so we're going to talk weaving in ends in stockinette stitch. So you're going to weave in your ends on the wrong side of your fabric, which is going to look like this. So the question to ask when you're about to weave in an end is, where is my yarn at? Because you're going to trace the path of your yarn, recreating these stitches on the back side of your fabric. So let's just say I'm going to start right here with weaving in my end. I'm going to use a different color to make it really obvious. So if I want to ask where my yarn is at, let's just say, here's my yarn. Okay. Goes around here. Insert your needle. Okay. So if I'm tracing the path of this piece of yarn right here, you can see that it goes here, up around here. You can pull it apart to really see where it goes. Here, down here, down there, back up here. There it is. It goes under, right around here, here, under here. So the idea is that you're going to follow that path. So if I'm following the path, I'm going to go up through here. Then you can see it goes around over the top, so I'm going to follow that. It goes back down through here. You can see how I'm recreating where that yarn goes. Right here. There it is, back up through here. Just tracing the path of my yarn. So you can see this is what happens in stockinette stitch, but you can do this with any stitch. The idea is just finding where your yarn is going and following that. And I find it really helpful to do that by pulling on my yarn, pulling my piece apart, pulling on it, and seeing where it goes next. So you can see where this guy goes next is right here. And then right here. So I'm going to follow this around. This is applicable to any stitch. You can do this in lace. You just find where your yarn is at. Slightly out of focus there. Let's give it a chance to focus in. There we go. There it is, tracing the path. Where your yarn is. And if you get one or two stitches off, it's fine. Just locate where you are and where you're going. Don't just give up and go all higgledy-piggledy, because what happens if you do that is that you can create weird bumps in your fabric, your tension can get really weird, and you'll be able to see it. Even if you aren't able to see it, it's going to make the tension in your fabric off. Whereas when you're just retracing your stitches and doing it loosely like this, it's not changing the tension of your fabric. So you can see here I'm forming this loopy pattern, which happens in stockinette stitch. But I'd say rather than just following this pattern, just ask where your yarn is at. So here you can see I've woven in this end, and I've used pink yarn on a white background. This is what the back looks like. And this is what the front looks like. So even though I've used a different color, you cannot see where I've woven in that end. And you, of course, will be using the same color yarn to weave in. So there's absolutely, you cannot see it in stockinette stitch, and that's the goal. The goal is you cannot see it, and it does not change the stretch of your fabric. So I recommend doing this for, you know, 1 inch, 2 inches, more if you're using a slippery yarn, something like silk or even a merino cashmere nylon blend that isn't sticky. Maybe you want to go 2 inches, 3 inches. Be really generous. And then when you cut your tail, when you're all done weaving in, this is something a lot of people don't remember or know. Don't cut it flush, because if you cut it really close, it's going to pop right back through to the right side immediately. And then you have to stuff it back down, and you're going to lose some of the weaving you've done. So you want to cut it about 1/2 inch above. So you can see that this is just hanging out there, and that might bother you, especially if this is a shawl or something that does have a wrong side that might be seen. Over time, this is just going to fuzz down and you won't be able to see it. So as you wear it, as you block it, this is going to fuzz down, and the result is going to be that it doesn't just immediately pop through to this side. Shove it back. So that's weaving in ends. Hope this is helpful. Ask where your yarn is at.